Have you ever seen a job advertised and you're really excited about it? So you read through the description, you thought it sounded like you read through a little bit more and you got really excited, and then you started, and that like inner critic sort of starts to take over, and then you start thinking, maybe I don't have all the skills right now to do that job, or there's probably someone already in the position, or they've listed this skill set and I've got 3 out of 5. I don't have the other thing that they've asked for, or now it's not the right time to leave. I've just started this new job, or I've got this big project and I don't want to let everyone down. If you've ever sort of said this to yourself, which like I have, and I work with careers, so I'm talking to people all day about their careers and their journey, and I still did all these things when considering a job. I was a master at talking myself out of opportunities and justifying it as if it's not being the right time, not the right opportunity, it's never going to be as good as what I've got it. And I can tell you honestly, just apply. Now all the recruiters out there are screaming like, don't say that, I have to go through all the applications. But I did career guidance with what was hundreds, but it felt like thousands in a good way of clients. And I'd often hear people say, oh, I wish I'd applied for that job. The person that get it, they weren't as qualified as I was, or I thought it was going to be this, but it actually turned out to be something that I really love. So I would hear that time and time again, that I wish I'd applied for that job. You know what I never heard? I never heard one person say, I wish I hadn't applied for that job. I didn't hear anyone say that. And because when you apply for a job, all you're doing is saying, I'm interested in being considered. You're not even going to say that you will actually take the job. All you're saying is, I'm interested in learning more, right? Because when you see a job advertisement, you don't really know much about the area. And most of the time they're written in really positive, like it's a fun team, it's every day is exciting, and so you have this information, and it's a piece of paper. It doesn't reflect anything really of what a day-to-day looks like. It doesn't tell you the people that you're going to work with. It doesn't tell you the supportive boss you're going to have. It doesn't tell you about the connections with people outside of the team that you're working with. It doesn't tell you the aircon's a lovely temperature. It doesn't tell you you'll have a view with a nice view of the city. It doesn't tell you any of these things. It just tells you a little bit of information. And if you're someone that's got a negative bias, and most people in life do, it's what's kept us alive for thousands of years, millions of years. I don't know how many years. I'm not an anthropologist or someone that has access to Google. So these are the sorts of things that knowing in yourself, if you know you're someone that talks yourself out of jobs, being really conscious of that and kind of going, okay, I initially got excited about this. Then the inner critic, skeptic, invited themselves to apply. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply first and I'll think about it later. And that's an approach that kind of worked for me. I had worked in the one organization for a very long time. And because I justified it to myself that I thought there wasn't another organization that was as good, right? That we have lots of flexibility, I work with really great people. The work itself over time, it wasn't exactly what I wouldn't have applied for it if it was advertised, put it that way. But I'd always sort of said, it's the right organization. I'll just wait for that right opportunity. And I started to feel like I was, floundering a little bit. I had a lot to offer, but I didn't feel like I was using it. And then I saw another job advertised, and I got excited by the ad. And rather than just kind of like talk myself out of it, I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to apply for it. And I thought, well, I'm going to show them a little bit about me. And I did a really creative cover letter, which I'll show you in another video. And I applied for it. And I got an interview, and I was really surprised. I was kind of like, really? For this? For me? And then I went for the interview, and I was like, it was at a university. And, I'm probably the least academic person you would know. I'm very left of center. I'm kind of creative, a little bit wacky at times. And, I'd always viewed universities as being quite sort of academic, research-based kind of, and which isn't really me. But I didn't hear anything for a while, and I was like, oh yeah, that would be because that's not who I am or whatever. Then I got offered the job, and then there was this whole big discovery piece for me about, okay, well, do I take it or not? Like, I've got this organization that's safe. I know everybody. I know my place. I feel, connected to the organization. But I also know that I probably have a lot to gain and a lot to learn. And if I don't do it now, I probably won't. And so I left. So I left this great organization, and people always say, oh, you're so brave. And it's like, well, not really, because I had more to gain than I had to lose. And when I joined that organization, it was like, holy smokes, I have all these skills that I didn't even realize I have because I've never had to use them. And I'm getting feedback on things really good feedback on things that I've never done before, like facilitating high volume for large groups and lots of different things that I'd never done before. And which led me to having enough confidence to do these sorts of videos, right? And so, if in that initial stage I'd have seen that job advert, listened to that inner critic, I wouldn't have applied. I wouldn't have had the courage to go. I'd probably be still sitting at my job. I wouldn't have created these videos. So there's a whole flow-on effect from just one action. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if in doubt, apply, put yourself out there, and if you get an interview, think about it then, but just talk yourself into stuff, because you can learn on the job, and it's a competitive process. Other people will make decisions, so don't rule yourself out. Get in there, learn. I've done a video on how to receive interview feedback, so you can keep learning and growing, so when that right opportunity does become available, you'll be right to grab it. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you like these sorts of videos, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies. And all right, so see you later. Bye-bye now.